everything goes silent. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. This is Parenting for Individual Therapy 1. All right, everybody? Find your place because I want you to do something. Oh. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll have you sign later. You'll remember. I want you to do something. Okay, here we go. 3 and 5 out. You're safe. You're fine. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Nobody's going to touch you. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, just close your eyes. Just trust me. It's okay. It's going to be good. Okay? Keep your eyes closed. Point to the future. Everybody point to the future. Okay, everybody point to the future. Come on, not everybody's pointing to the future. Don't cheat. Don't open your eyes. Point to the future. Now, just stay right where you are and open your eyes. Don't move. And look around. No surprise too. Point to the future. You point there. If we did that 10,000 years ago in ancient Rome, if we did that 10,000 years from now in the planet of Zungatunga, as long as there's people there, the body speaks human needs. It's in the body. Our experiences are anchored in the body. I always like that one. Point to the future. Though every once in a while you have somebody who does this. The future is me. The future's so bright I need sunglasses. Yeah, did you point to yourself? Yeah, there you go. Another quick thing on the body. What'd you do? You pointed up there? Oh, that's a little different. That's okay. It's interesting. The future's above us somehow. Most everybody points that way. Again, it doesn't make you wrong if you don't. It's just, I mean, the other obvious thing about the body always fascinates me. Again, the soul, the being, the spirit speaks through the body, is, of course, if you go to the dentist and you have your teeth worked on and you're numb and you try to drink. Oh my God! You're immediately either 3 months old or 103 years old because it just dribbles all over everything because you need the feedback, obviously. By the way, another quick thing onto today's show when I was getting ready. So there's this protein. I was trying to remember what it is, dang it. It's a neuroprotein. That women have more than men, so they talk more than men. Yes! Yeah, it's a protein. It's like 3 letters. F something. I'll get it by next time. Because I emailed it to myself. I won't be able to get the email. Anyway, when they find it in little girls, and they have it significantly more than boys. See, the assumption always is because men don't listen. So you guys have to keep saying it over and over and over. What? But apparently it's a protein. Now, of course, maybe it evolved because men didn't listen. I mean, there's this eternal chicken egg here. It's interesting. When I give testimony sometimes in custody of things, and the attorney will say, well, I see you met with a mother 8 times and with fathers 3. So obviously you're biased towards the mother. And I always say, she was loquacious, he was laconic. Words for Jerry. Okay. So I was 13. And my mom announced to me, I am no longer going to ask you to make your bed. I am no longer going to ask you to clean up your room. You are now 13. Your room is yours. To explain briefly, however, she also added, so here's the living room, there's a hallway, there's a bathroom, here is my room, here's a TV room. There's a door here into the TV room. So there's a common hallway. What I want you to do if your room is messy is close your door. If it starts to smell so bad that we can smell it down the hallway as we're going to the TV room, you're going to have to pay, we had a cleaning lady, you're going to have to pay her extra to go clean your room. Other than that, your room is yours. Don't put holes in the wall. It's yours. Now, any good systems person would know I immediately started making more of a mess than ever. Because obviously some part of me is invested in this dance. And lo and behold, and of course I'd leave the door open. But lo and behold, my mom actually meant it and actually left it alone. And eventually I kind of picked up. Never made my bed till I met Rory Devine. She likes a good bed. It's easy to do. She has beds it's easy to make. It's my wife. What is this an example of? We were talking last time about, in terms of parenting, we're going to finish up parenting today and then go to individual therapy. Remember? My mom, in a very intuitive way, did something that I realize is really important. Remember we talked about domains of ownership with kids? Child mutual parent or adolescent mutual parent. Acronym AMP works better than KIMP. That's exactly what she's doing. She's saying, your room is yours. It's in your domain. However, if it smells or it disturbs my vision, which is the mutual domain, you got to keep the door closed and get it clean. And furthermore, don't put holes in the wall, because it's our home or the bank home. It's very clean. It's very empowering. Very worth not arguing about. Okay, you guys have any examples in your lives of this kind of thing, where you felt it was in your domain and that empowered you? Or felt it wasn't in your domain, in which case, what's that F word? Fair, or U word, unfair. Yes?
I guess just like in high school and stuff, I never had like a curfew. Like but they just said, I need to know where you are. And
Okay.
you know, what you will be doing and stuff, but.
And that felt fair to you and empowering to you?
If I told them where I was,
Yeah.
when I'd be home, they didn't bug me about.
Yeah? Because you were 6 at the time? Very precocious. Go. Yes, please.
My parents never ever like got on me about what classes to take or grades, or I was like completely involved in my own like academics and picking my own classes. I actually like started going to college while I was in high school, and I graduated early. And
Wow.
I would just come home and be like, oh yeah, I'm graduating early, and they'd be like, oh cool. So like, I don't know, I think them giving me that domain, like it made it mine, and I still value school.
That's really interesting. And actually, did anybody see Modern Family last night?
My mom is just like the woman from Colombia.
Claire?
No.
Oh, from Colombia. Oh, yeah, Gloria. Oh, my God. Right. It was perfect. It was just like the role play, where the kid wants his mom to sign. He got an F. And he said, just don't look, just sign. It was perfect. It was exactly the role play. They didn't do the interaction. It was kind of a side thing. But I thought, oh, my God. And then he went to the dad, and Dad got preoccupied. But it was the whole, and he's saying, just sign here. It's just a double template form. Sign it. It's funny. Okay. Talked about punishment, or the lack thereof. Again, punishment, as I revamp my definition in a way, is power. Parent has power. They're trying to inflict power. Over, in some sense, spirit, overstated. Utilizing pain. You want to create some pain that's trying to motivate behavior. And it's in service of control or influence or impact. And in fairness, most parents are trying to get the kid, again, to be a good human being. Let go of parenting at age 30. It rarely works. When your parents punished you, it rarely made it so that you didn't do that behavior again. Whatever it was you got punished for. He's thinking. What are you smiling to talk to us?
I don't know. I mean, granted, it's more so like cultural. So when I lived in Israel, like raising your hand on a child is somewhat like was more common back then.
Yeah.
And I remember that, yeah, definitely like getting a beating, and I would never do that thing again.
Yeah, me too. Like ever.
Well, what'd you get hit for, or a beating for?
I tried to wash my own hair when I was like 6, and I got water all over the bathroom.
And then you got hit, swapped, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you never tried to wash your hair again.
Well, by myself. Well, I always made sure the bathroom floor.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. And what was yours, if you wanted to?
I kind of went out past, like once I was already home for a curfew, I left. And,
Okay.
yeah.
You snuck out or something?
Yeah.
And you were how old? Again, not 3.
No, not.
You were
I was in
teenager?
Yeah.
And then, so you never snuck out again?
No.
How'd you feel?
Petrified.
Occasionally, fear in a certain way will get conformity. It will not get respect. It will not get, I'm doing this because I've internalized your values. I believe in what you're saying. It fits for me. So I will do this. I will follow my heart. It doesn't do that, ever. So yeah, you put enough fear and enough surveillance, boop, 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 webcams and all that stuff, GPSs and all the cars, so you know exactly how fast the kid's going and where he's going. You can get compliance. The only way you ever get real internalization and cooperation is, of course, through respect and empathy. And furthermore, as you know, I believe our role as parents, and again, the Latin root in terms of discipline is to educate. You want a kid to do pro-social behaviors, they need to practice the neural networks of decision making. I really, 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 really would like to take this, your candy or whatever it is, but if I do, you're going to feel bad. You're going to be mad at me. I'm going to feel bad. So instead, I'll ask you, can I have a piece of your candy? Or I'll go do something else. I'll do jumping jacks. I'll do something to distract myself. Remember the marshmallow man? We talked about marshmallow. Distract myself so that I won't do that. So we need to teach them those little hierarchies. So I have a 4-part protocol. I told you, Duran has never got punished. Now, I understand protocol. I think I'm spelling it right. Protocol, it's all those. 4-part protocol. Now, I understand the punishment is not in the punisher, but in the punishee. I might say, don't do that. And because of my tone of voice and my look, you were traumatized and felt punished by my just saying that. To the best of my ability, I never punished Duran. I didn't use pain as a way to gain power over him and try and influence him through fear and pain. It's 4 steps. Duran, being the marvelous lad that he was and is not a perfect child or teenager, and did do things that I didn't think was taking loving, responsible, respectful care of himself. How extremely presumptuous of me. Obviously, you start with empathy, but that's not in this part. This is the consequence. So I do believe there can be consequences. There needs to be learning. There needs to be myelinations and connections. I believe in that. Okay. So Duran did something at school that wasn't, I didn't think it was taking great care of himself. It brought the attention of his teacher and his counselor. Well, his peers knew about it. He's very well connected, which was wonderful. I think I told you he was part of this tribe. The whole family was part of a tribe. So we knew his friends, and we knew his friends' parents. So he did this action. We find out about it. I say, Duran, my man, I totally understand where you likely were coming from. Right? Empathy. Got to give empathy. But now he's older. He is about 14. He's not 4. So I say, here's the protocol. And yes, he didn't get to do anything. He didn't get to go out. He didn't get to do his electronics or all those things. Privileges were held back until he finished this protocol. 1, write down. I like writing because it is left brain. Yes, you can type it. It doesn't have to be with your hands. Write down. Why did you do what you did? Write it down. And it's not, why'd you do that? It's with self-compassion, self-awareness, self-reflection. Why'd you do that? No wrong answers. Why? Just, I want you to think about what was your motivation. I'm happy to talk with you, give you my ideas. Again, empathy is trying to help the person hear their heart. I understand why I did what I did. Because I wanted the chocolate or whatever. Tastes good, feels good, whatever. Really important. Number 2, what was the impact? What was the impact of your actions on? And now you start listing. Oh yeah, no, I want very specific others. So Mr. Yanon Volcani, what was the impact of your actions on your teacher, on your school counselor, on the headmaster, on your mother, on your father, on your 3 best friends, Chris, Jesse, Zach, on, because unfortunately we all are a tribe, Kim, who's Chris's mom, Bob, who's Chris's dad. He had 19 people that his action impacted. That's tremendous learning, to realize that the little rock in the pond sends waves out onto the shore of lots of people's lives, in a way. It wasn't some heinous, horrible thing he did, but it has an impact. And the last one always is, of course, and on you. How did it impact you that you did this? If nothing else, you have to do this ridiculous exercise. Please.
You know, I was wondering, like, at what age is this protocol?
Oh, I start them in a age-appropriate level, 5-ish, 6-ish. You can do it very, and at an earlier level, you can say these for them. Honey, I totally understand that, but when you do that, then this happens. So, and then we'll get to number 3 and 4. So you can verbalize that to an infant. Honey, I really understand how much you like to poop in your pants. I mean, you know, you're little, you don't have bowel control yet. However, the impact is, ooh, poopy, you smelling, it's all messy. So, see, it gets a little ridiculous because number 3 is too hard for them yet.
Can I ask why the left brain? Why you bring up the left side of the brain?
This is all because, why do I? Answer that great question.
I would think that it's less emotional, so maybe you're not going to react with a lot of like...
Prefrontal cortex. I'm going to get technical. Dorsolateral area of the prefrontal cortex, along with the rest of the symphony of the brain, but particularly there, is the centers involved in judgment and socially appropriate actions. I think I've mentioned a couple classes back. It is the part of the brain that quickly dissolves in alcohol. And that's why you dance on the tables during the whatever it is when you drink alcohol, because your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, among other areas of the brain, aren't in operation right now. They're in lockdown, so you do crazy things. Got to strengthen that area. As you know, I love the magic mind. Really, we'll get more and more and more about the wonders of the magic mind. Well, that's kind of, if you want to say, the music or the engine of the car and whatnot. Prefrontal cortex is the iPod that plays the music. Or it's the race car driver that makes sure you look both ways. A lot of times I'll tell the kids, you are a 959 horsepower Ferrari, power to you. You got to be an incredibly good driver. Dude, 2 hands on the wheel. Okay, at least 1 hand on the wheel. Look at the mirrors before you go. Got to have good braking abilities. You got to be able to shift those gears. You have a wonderful car. You're always going to have. It's going to take you far in life nonetheless. You got one. So this is aerobics for the prefrontal cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. So compassion. Why'd you do what you did? What was the impact of your action? Social awareness of others, and that your actions have impact that can broadly span lots of folks, including yourself. 3, duh, what did you need to do different? What did you need to do different? What? Do different. And I mean details. So you're about to take the chocolate. Sorry, I'm beginning to... See yourself about to take the chocolate. Now see yourself not taking the chocolate. What are you specifically and exactly doing different in that moment? Well, I pushed it away and I put my hands in my pocket and walked away. Perfect. 3A. Specifically see or role play and practice doing it differently. At least, yes, we're a society of 3s. 3 times. See yourself, you're about to take it. But then you see yourself, la, 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 like the little girl in the marshmallow studies. Hum and move away. You're about to take it. Hum, move away. About to take it. Hum, move away. Ta-da! I think we talked about the basketball studies, the free throwers, right? those who free throw in their minds, if they can already do it, do better than those who just practice in vivo without practicing in your mind. If you've never played piano and you are shown in theory a 5-note piece, that area of your brain, even though you never play the piano, you never take your hand and actually do it, that area of the brain that controls that hand will actually get bigger. It's all in the brain, it's all in the mind. So I need you to practice it 3 times over, at least. And number 4, if you offend, you amend. How hard is this? It's a give back. Making amends. Whether that's a note or something to the teacher, never mind to the headmistress and all that other stuff, something from mommy, daddy, what do you give back? There is, again, in this world of fairness, a principle of reciprocity. If I've taken away, you give back in some sense. Now it varies. Some parents are okay with, okay, you've done this and you've done it well, you can have your electronics back and your life is back to normal now, because it's not about punishment, it's about learning. Others will say, it just doesn't feel right to give it all back right away. So you do this, you get a little bit back, and over the week, as you've shown that this is absorbed into your way of being in the world, you can have your stuff back. It depends. I got to work with the culture I'm involved with, the family culture involved with, and some are stricter than others. I was fine with Ron doing this, and he could have all his stuff back. It's not about that. I didn't have any illusion that he was not going to do that because he thought he might get his electronics taken away. I have a whole hope that doing this in his mind, he's not going to do it because he's going to go through the running of this and what it impacts.
Interestingly, a study I saw said it's more effective to take everything away for a short period of time than something away for a long period of time. So some parents say, take their cell phone away for a month.
Makes no sense to me.
It's less and less effective over time. It would be more effective, they found, to take all the electronics away for one day or for the weekend or whatever. That has much more impact than taking something away for a long time.
That would make total sense to me. Parents tells me that a month, it's just don't do that. I don't run your household. I'll never know your kid as well as you do. Don't do that. Now find ways to for him to earn it back. And even if it's just, here, you can have your phone until 3. Now give it back. Whatever. Never mind all the fairness issues and the sneaky issues, and you can't control it anyway because he'll find another way. But also motivation-wise. But I'm much more interested in education, myelination. So when I was at Southwood, inpatient substance abuse, adolescent substance abuse psychiatric unit, the group room was about 4 feet lower than the rest of the hospital. Okay, so there were stairs. You come into the group room. Well, right by the stairs was a nice little desk thing, table thing. Well, of course, these little kangaroos would bounce onto the desk and bounce into the room. Stop. Go back up to the top of the stairs and say the following out loud. I really feel like jumping on the table because it'd be fun, and besides, it's very efficient. It's an efficient way to get into the room. Boing, bang. 2 steps instead of 5. Very efficient, and it's fun. However, if I do, the table might break, which is going to piss off the staff and means I'm going to have to, or my parents are going to have to, pay for the table. So instead, I'll walk down the stairs. Now, they didn't have to do any kind of amends. It wasn't a huge offend. Go back, do it again. I feel like doing anything, but if I do it, it breaks. Instead, I'll do it again 3 times. None of the little obstreperous teenagers who ever went through that little exercise ever jumped on the table again. Again, if nothing else, they didn't want to go through that and in front of their peers and all that stuff. But I also like to think that they actually internalized thinking, pro-social behavior, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And I did say to them, by the way, I look at that thing, I kind of go, it'd be kind of fun to jump on that table. I frankly don't think about the table. I think about my ankle. I think, oh God, but I could sprain my ankle, in which case I won't be surfing for 3 months. So instead, I'll walk down these stairs. Thank you. Now this is, by the way before I even thought of this protocol thing, but it's the same deal. Okay, getting a sense of it? And the spirit is, I'm your coach, teacher, guide, cheerleader. We're on a team here. I'm going to help that part of you that wants to be pro-social develop, strengthen, please.
I have a patient who's in his mid-20s, but he's very childlike in nature. Not DD or anything, but just not developed in common sense.
Okay.
I'm using a lot of the STAR decision-making stuff with him, but I would like to incorporate this. For example, he accepted a bag of weed last week, handed it over to his house manager, but it still led to a bunch of, unpleasant consequences. So I'm wondering if this would be as effective with adults, but not in a way that they would feel insulted. I mean, I don't think it would be insulting to him, but if it would be as effective with an adult mind that's more
I would think so. I think myelination and connecting these areas of the brains is useful for any of it. That's what any good judgment person does. I feel like doing, but we do it very quickly. I feel like running this red light. I don't feel like sitting there waiting. But if I do, and there's nobody around, but maybe I won't see, so somebody will cry, or the police might give me a ticket. So instead, I'll wait here. And then I'll turn right, and then I'll turn left, and then I'll turn right again now and going forward. Because I like to change. Whatever. You're absolutely right, at any age, at any stage. But it's really important. The good news is you can practice this any time. By the way, I tell parents to do this out loud in front of their little pumpkins. You're in the car, speaking of red lights. You're in the car. And the person in front of you, now the lights turn green, the person in front of you isn't moving. And of course your primal adding fair part wants to scream and yell. Honk horn. Flip them off. So you don't exactly say all of that, but you can say, the person's not moving. I feel like honking my horn. But if I do that, they're going to get all uptight. I'm going to get all uptight. So instead I'm going to breathe 3-5 and listen to the music. They now move. I swear to God, say it out loud in front of your little pumpkin.
Can you also invite them to help you come with the solutions to your problem?
Absolutely. Your little wonder next to you? Yeah, sure. But model. I use parents all the time. Model. You do the 3-5. I don't know why I'm focusing on you instead of you to say I'm feeling bad. I'm always focusing on you, so now it goes to the next row. We're gonna get there eventually, because then she'll move. Model for your kid. Belly is not pretty, but it's effective. Do that in the morning. Surprise them. Just kind of sit there at the breakfast table for a moment and go. And they're going to look at you and go, Mom, what are you doing? 3-5. I feel better. Just do it in front of them all the time. Lots of time. In fact, have them count for you. Because sometimes you talk, hey, do 3-5. No, I don't want to. Good. I need to. Please count for me. So, okay, so make sure I'm doing it correct. Ready? 3. Now 5. Thanks. Well, of course, mirror neurons, the kid's going to be doing 3-5 without even knowing it. Neener, haha. You had a question.
It's all about modeling, but Meredith and I are both in the program. We have 3-year-olds, and we've been doing that since 2, and they take a deep breath.
Yes.
I thought it would work, but they love it.
It's fantastic. And they're better at doing the belly breathing. Again, because we say breathe in, they think, I can't even do it anymore. I can't take in my stomach and take in. It's weird. It feels totally. But initially, that's what they do, and they're feeling it's the wrong way, as we know. So they really have to learn. And I always say, if you watch a baby breathe, and if you watch a puppy breathe, their little bellies go, they're breath masters.
We tell each other to do it now.
Perfect. 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 3-5. I understand it's, new age, ex-hippie, sounds ridiculous. It's parasympathetic nervous system. I'll tell them that. So you got the sympathetic, fight, flight, ready to go, amygdala, 8 months in utero, fully formed, that whole thing. Now, over here, have them blow bubbles. Take your troubles, turn them into bubbles, and pop them away. And I told you about the cotton wishes. Cotton ball wishes. At night. Or in the morning. But a lot of this, parents can just turn on your mouth while you're doing your judgment thinking thing. And then give them a little reward. You can have them with this Kasdan. Have them reward them when they practice doing this. Here you go. Okay? Okay. I need somebody who feels brave. Brave. The inner courageous one. Yes, come on up, inner courageous one. Xena. Princess warrior. You're going to pick 3 kids.
Oh, okay.
One is going to be your daughter, and then 2 friends. Might as well get 1 boy and 1 girl just for that.
Anybody want to volunteer?
Ha! Fat chance. Yes! Very good. Brave, courageous. Again, nothing you do up here in any way determines your value as a human being, a therapist, or anything else. It's just, you can applaud your brave part. Okay. Oh, wait, we need 1 more kid.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, did I see you right around?
An invisible arm.
There we go. Okay, hang on. I just want to get Stalik's thing in this. Anybody have Stalik's book with you by any chance? Or anything? If not, that's okay. It'll be here somewhere. I will find it. Okay, here we go. Here's what it is. The 3 of you on the floor over here, please. You come over here. Brave one. You were downstairs. You were downstairs.
I was downstairs.
She's your daughter.
Okay.
You heard a bunch of giggling upstairs. Okay? You came upstairs. Again, there's 6-ish, 5 or 6-ish.
Oh.
Holy schnoly! Buck naked. All 3 of them are buck naked. Oh my God! Oh no, what do I do? Oh no, oh no. That's exactly the question. What do you do? Child-centered parenting. Child-centered way of being.
These are not my kids.
Not your kids. Never going to be at your home again. No, not necessarily. Okay? Okay? Okay. Go. You walk in. Now remember, child-centered, be here now, right? It's all about the now. Being with them. Reflexively reflective.
Okay.
Go. You're walking.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. So can you guys cover yourselves?
What for?
Well, okay, so
What's wrong with this?
do you guys feel comfortable like this?
Yeah,
So
we're just playing.
oh. So why do you think this is comfortable?
We're just playing.
The body's normal, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and it can be.
They're different than me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're a girl and they're boys. So you notice that.
It's not fair.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I missed that. It's not fair. Wow. Freud was right. Weenie envy.
So I feel like if I
Okay, so
was
yeah.
a mother, I'd want them to put their clothes on first.
So say that, be you. I mean, you guys are playing it very differently, by the way. Most people play it as, oh my God, oh no, are we in trouble? They're very casual. They're very new age, man, letting it all hang out. And you said, oh wow, I kind of thought, oh really? Never mind. Okay, but keep going. Say, I mean, you're.
Okay, so let's put our clothes back on.
We don't want to. We're enjoying this like this. It's fine. This is natural. This is normal. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so reflect back what's going on for them in that moment.
Well, yeah, you feel more natural and you like it.
Yeah.
It feels more normal for you.
Yeah.
So it might be inappropriate to be naked with each other right now.
Well, we all like each other. We're fine with it. We're comfortable.
It's really hot. Oh, it's hot. Well, maybe we could find another solution for cooling ourselves down besides taking off our clothes. Can I go to the pool? Yeah, that would be fun.
Without our clothes?
No. Because so even though it feels nice and normal and natural, and when we go to the pool, I don't know how to. So what do you see other people naked out by the pool?
No, I haven't seen that. But we don't like getting our clothes wet. So.
Yeah.
Don't like hair clothes.
Yes.
What is it you'd like to say to them? I'm feeling as if you'd like to say something to them.
I just want them to put their clothes on.
So tell them that. Kids, I see you're really, really comfortable. I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool that you all are so comfortable being naked. We have our clothes on so much of the time, and we're so curious about each other. By the way, it never ends. Never ends, that curiosity. I love that you're curious, you're interested, you try to find a way to gratify your curiosity. Let's check it out. I get that. I get that.
Cool, I want to do this more often.
I totally understand that. And in your house, that'd be fine. This is our house. So I can't even really tell you a great reason why. Maybe it's socialization and acculturation. I didn't grow up in a nudist colony or anything. I've known people who have, nothing wrong with that. So I'm used to having clothes on and whatnot. And I feel a little like, private parts, that whole deal. So I need you to put your clothes on. In fact, I would have come in initially, not that you did anything wrong, but I said, whoa, naked, holy schnoly. And then depending on how, if they're like, then of course you say, I see you looking scared.
Yeah.
I'm not going to punish you. See, I thought you were going to do that, which would have been easy for you because we've practiced that one so much. I'm sorry if I've made in any way done anything to make you scared of me. I'm not going to punish you. Or anything. But you didn't do that. I was all set for that spiel. So you didn't. So then you go into the, I'm stoked that you're, stoked is an old surf term from, yeah, this is really cool, that you're so comfortable. That's awesome. I want you to be comfortable with your bodies and all that. Now again, I don't know how your parents are. I do need to call them, let them know. No, here's the bind on that.
Over here anymore.
I know, that's the bind. The bind is,
I was trying to see how would you explain to them that like their parents.
the
Like,
parents need to know.
Yeah.
You don't want CPS on your door because you're running some weird porn pervert place. Holy schnoly. Right, webcams and all that. No. So you gotta say, so your parents need to know, because you guys are so comfortable and thinking probably your parents are comfortable with all this, and that's great. But you need to let them know. I won't do anything bad, but that you're naked. Again, not comfortable for me, so get dressed, please, thank you, and then let's chat about all this. So I would have them get, otherwise, I once was, it was actually a class, a sociology class, UC Santa Barbara. And our final was a weekend encounter group. That was our final. We all went to this place. There was about 20 of us. And everybody got naked. Yes, naked. Yes. Bizarre. I have never seen such good eye contact. Oh my God. Nothing below the chin. Nobody dares to look. Everybody's like, I'm looking at your eyes. I'm not looking at anything else. I promise. Really, really. I'm not peeking. It was like bizarre. Yeah, thank you. I got an A, by the way. Go figure. Not that it makes me any better human being. I think everybody got an A. So you start off right away with clothes on. I'm stoked you're comfortable. That's great. And then you kind of take it from there as to clothes, curiosity, that kind of stuff. You got to let them know that their parents need to know. And then you got to set some parameters about what you're comfortable with in terms of how they play and about sexual information and all that.
Yeah, so that how do you like if they're 5 or 6, like how do you explain that to them, like in a child-centered?
Well, first of all, and again, I told you last time about the touchdown analogy, metaphor, or whatever, that kids wanted to know how it is their dad accidentally had a baby. And if you were here, you were here. I can't tell. You're going to have to find. Do you guys know about the birds and the bees and that whole thing? You don't? Okay. So it's not okay for me to tell you guys, because your parents might have their own thoughts about that and want you guys to know whatever it is they want you to know in whatever way they want you to know it. I know this sounds very mysterious, but so it's not okay for me to tell you. We, I guess, haven't had that kind of chat, and I'm happy to have that kind of chat.
And once the boys leave back to their home, then we can talk about why they're a little different.
Correct. They have that abnormal growth.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to get across to them at this point?
So what happens if like one of the boys goes back to their mom and says, "Mommy, what's the birds and the bees?"
Right.
Their mom is all upset.
Again, I'm gonna call. Right? I'm gonna say, here's the dilemma. I came in, they were naked. Holy schnoly. Doesn't look like anything, horribly inappropriate went on. I guess maybe for you just being naked is inappropriate. I did tell them to put their clothes on. Turned off the webcam. I made sure. No, that's disgusting. Sorry, bleep that out. That's disgusting. Sorry. Well, maybe they had the webcam going. It's, I appreciate your entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, that's the other thing. We got to remember the traits to underscore, right? I'm glad you're curious. You want to find out about things. Serve you well in life. I don't know their status of knowing birds and bees. I did mention what they did or didn't know. They didn't seem to know. Obviously, it's not appropriate for me to in any way inform your kids of anything of that sort without your permission. So just know that's what's going on. Got to inform. Got to stay networked. Okay. How was it for you kids? How was it for you kids? Sorry, in terms of the interaction with a parent.
Freeing, no.
Yeah. Did you need anything from her that you weren't getting, or something you didn't want her to be doing?
She approached it in a very low-key, comfortable manner. I mean, she didn't make us feel anxious, or, I mean, she may have seemed a little surprised, but not inappropriate. Anything she said, it was comfortable.
Okay. Right. Any thoughts from the audience? The co-parenters here? Yeah? Okay, all right. Applause. Applause. It's a real hard dilemma, the whole sexuality with kids thing.
Put your clothes back on.
Yeah, put your clothes back on. That's right. Thank you. It's a big deal. Let me read your Stolich's thing. Not that that's perfect or not perfect. Please, wait a minute. How come this says, oh, here we go. Where does it start? Here. My name is Lisa. I'm having a lot of fun. My friends Nancy and Harold and I are under the blanket on my bed. We don't have our clothes on, tickling each other and touching each other's genitals. It's fun. Feels good rubbing and falling over each other. We're all laughing a lot. Suddenly the door to my room opens up and I hear Mom ask, "Oh, Lisa, what's going on here?" Now again, she doesn't know yet. She comes in the room and says, "Oh, excuse me for not barging in without knocking." Domains of ownership, that's a real clear message. It's your room. I barged in without knocking, excuse me. That's cool. Respect, fairness. Oh, okay, she's sitting down by the bed, smiling, says, looks like everybody's having a lot of fun. We wear our clothes so much of the time that it's fun to get them off and be naked sometimes. All of you were tickling each other and rubbing and falling over each other. Remember, these are 6 or younger. You're a video camera with heart. You're just telling them. There's no questions here. He's just reflecting. Here's what's going on for you, at least as I can get it, as I'm seeing it. It must be a lot of fun to be nude and touch each other's sex parts. I know it feels good and it's exciting when you or someone else rubs your penis or vagina. Here is what they call it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this was written in 1972. Could be an issue about, do the kids' parents want me to be talking of this nature? Maybe in a more generalized way. It looks like you're having a lot of fun. I know we wear our clothes a lot. I know you're interested in the human anatomy. I know, too, that all of you must be very curious about vaginas and penises and breasts and nipples and the differences between boys and girls, men and women. By touching each other's bodies, you can satisfy your curiosity. Again, he's trying to teach the child. Your impulses, your desires come out of certain mind states that are perfectly normal and okay. You're trying to gratify curiosities and wonderments and all of that. That's just fine and understandable. I want you to know that whenever you have any questions about your body or other people's bodies and all the different parts of the body, I'll try my best to answer them. Again, I now would put in the issue. However, I would need your parents' permission, or go talk to your parents. I'll try to do my best to answer your questions. Do any of you have any questions? We have some questions. Mom answers them for us. Then she says, I want you all to know that although I don't mind you playing together in the nude, I don't know if Nancy and Harold's parents mind. If you, Nancy, and you, Harold, won't mind and you give me your permission, I'll call your parents. I am not going to ask for their permission. If they look worried, I can say, I can see you're scared. Looks like you're worried about my calling your mom or dad and telling them about this. As far as I'm concerned, you are not in trouble. And I will inform your parents that you didn't do anything awful. I'm not saying I can control what your parent does. I would absolutely tell the parent. Okay. I'll tell them what happened, how I feel about it, ask them if they'll permit you to play in this way. If they don't want you to, I'll not be able to allow you to play in the nude or touch each other's sex parts. If they say yes, I'll report them to CPS. No. Sorry. Then when you want to play in the nude, please come and ask me. Again, these are little pumpkins. These are little 3, 4-year-olds. We're in a different climate now. Even little, put your clothes on. put your bathing suit on, something. But in those days, I mean, you gotta remember, this is 60s, 70s. The idea of little 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds running around naked, it's kind of cute. Different times. Play in the nude, come ask me, I'll be with you when you play. I prefer you do not play in the nude without my being with you. I want you to know that I feel uncomfortable when children play in the nude. I'm afraid that you may hurt each other's sexual parts and bodies without meaning to. You might also do things that I might find unacceptable. Get off of her. And I might ask you to stop. But in any case, I want you all to remember that I will do my best at any time to answer any questions you have about your own and other people's bodies. I'm glad my mom understands. Okay, you had a thought.
Back to the whole thing about modeling, I mean, what it says there, I think makes a lot of sense. The problem is a lot of parents have told me that they're very uncomfortable in discussing the body and sexuality and any of these subjects with their kids.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, they're trying to normalize. On the other hand, I think they telegraph their fear and their discomfort.
Yeah.
And kids recognize that.
Right.
And that has an implicit message in it. There's something wrong with your body, with other people's bodies.
And your curiosity about bodies and all of that. Correct. Perhaps maybe a part of the reason that there's a, $6 billion a year internet porn industry, just on the internet. So it is difficult. It's weird that it's difficult. I actually had a client once who grew up in basically a commune where sexuality was very open. He didn't come into therapy about sexual issues at all. He had had some sort of sex when he was about 10. Nobody thought anything of it. That was not an issue to him. He had other kinds of issues, but not about that. And other cultures approach this differently and whatnot. And you're right, the vibe we give off. I remember let's say I'm in Israel, so I'm about 3 or 4, and a little girl says, "Oh, come watch me pee." And I was fascinated. And I also kind of knew that I sort of wasn't supposed to be in the bathroom alone with her like that. But it was fascinating, just like, ooh, I still remember it. Oh, weird, you sit down. Really? You can't just stand up? It's fascinating. So we learn very, very early on and are fascinated by these differences. But the main thing, again, is how to create a context of psychological safety. Because you will model after me, I can have an impact on you when you feel safe, which is the opposite of fear and punishment. All I'm going to get is either overcompliance or rebellion. Oh, they have to bleep. Rebellion. And I don't want either one. I want you to internalize me. And if you feel valued and respected by your mom, dad, or whomever, and you see when they talked about how when they were little they wanted to be an actor, it wouldn't be surprising that you become an actor because you felt as if it also matched your longings and whatnot, but because you saw that look in the parent's eye and you resonated because they resonated with you. I would like to think perhaps maybe that there might be some factors that Ron is a surfer, a guitar player, and is majoring in psychology. That may be, not just because surfing is really cool and so is playing guitar. And psychology, frankly, is pre-med, and SC, you don't actually do pre-med, you do some other, but he picked psychology. But maybe there was and is a resonance between us, so that he has internalized aspects that fit for him, that model after me. How cool is that? That's how we impact each other, through love, not fear. Okay. Thoughts, feelings, fantasies, questions, reactions? Yes?
Again, I just can't help but thinking how critical some of these experiences, and even a single experience could be negative or positive, that endures for years, if not a lifetime, because if a message is communicated by a parent to a child at a critical age, either you are okay or you're not okay in some sense, your body, your curiosity, your interest, other people, that could set the stage that they never even consciously are aware of that, but carry that through with them for a long time.
You're absolutely right. We talked last time about 2.9. Basically say 3 times as many nice things in neutral and negative. That's nice. You can do 9.9 or 109.9, and you do one searingly soul-sundering comment, and that kid or person will never forget that one comment. So while I'm all for the 2.9 and B, you got to be really careful about what you say and do, directly and indirectly to those we love in particular, because you betcha. The flip side is I told you about my dear dad. That one time he said, "Oh, honey, you're in such pain," and I felt so embraced, and I will never forget that. I begin to tear every time I think of that. It's so cool. So you're right. And never mind as parents and friends and lovers, but as therapists. That's the whole point to me of this class. I teach this class because I do believe as therapists, you can make a difference in a little pumpkin's, or bigger pumpkin's, life forever. Even if they only come to you 45 minutes out of 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, you see them. More about that to come. Okay. Laird Hamilton is an Uberman, a supermensch. The guy rides, you know about Laird Hamilton? You're smiling. No? Anybody know about Laird Hamilton? Big surfer. Big surfer. This guy rides waves that are 60 feet high. If you've ever been out in a wave that's even 6 foot high and you're paddling, I kind of go, oh, this is going to be a challenge. I can't even fathom. Stand on a 6-story building, because each story is about 10 feet, and just look down. Now imagine it's water and it's moving. Oh my God! Quick story about Laird Hamilton, really cute. He's on the beach at Hawaii with his mom. His dad was an alcoholic and left the family, whatever. He walks down the beach and he finds this guy. He's a really good surfer, a legend. I remember him from my day, named Billy Hamilton. He comes up to him. They start talking. He says, "I want you to be my dad. Come meet my mom." And he takes him to his mom. And the rest is history. Hence Laird Hamilton. Billy adopted him. Isn't that cool? What a cool story. The point of all of this is, so even Supermensch Hamilton, while he's riding 60-foot jaws, you have to take a jet ski to get you in a wave that big, or 70-foot jaws, whatever, sometimes falls off. Ooh, now he is tumbling 60 feet below the water, holding his breath. He's not doing 3 5s. He's just doing, don't breathe out in now. Okay? And what is it that he's doing when he is 60 feet under, tumbling around? He is thinking about Dave Kalama. Dave Kalama is the guy who's his buddy, his partner, surf partner, who's driving the jet ski. Hunting down little bubbles between all that huge foam of Laird Hamilton somewhere down there. And when Laird's down there and thinking of Dave up there, his cortisol levels decrease. Stress hormone and all that. He feels very ish. He just thinks Dave. He knows Dave's going to be up there, thick or thin. And sure enough, he pops up, and there's Dave, grabs him, and out they go. Counts on Dave every time. His life depends on it. And vice versa. Okay? Okay. Switch scenes. It's 1882. It's this little town called Roseto in Italy. It's outside of Rome. And 11 of the inhabitants decide to move to America, land of opportunity. They end up in Bangor, PA. You didn't come to America, but whatever. How you end up in Bangor? But that's where they ended up. The town grew. It became a population of about 2,000. A guy named Stuart Wolf, professor at U of Oklahoma, happened to hear of this. This is in the late 60s, whatever. This town, because, interestingly enough, nobody under the age 55 had any heart disease whatsoever or ever died of a heart attack. And that was really an anomaly back in the 60s when heart disease was rampant. And in fact, it was the #1 killer, particularly of men, but also of women. I mean, they don't know about cholesterol really yet. They're eating horrible stuff, blah, 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 blah. Furthermore, men of 65 and older had half the heart problems, heart disease and all that, than the American population at large. Death rate in general was about 35% lower. Basically no alcoholism, no substance abuse. Very little crime, no real welfare or anything. They didn't have ulcers. They were just really an anomaly. So what in the world's going on? So he's studying this little town. So first, of course, he looks at diet. Must be diet. No, they're larders, man. They're cooked with lard. They're not doing this first cold press extra virgin olive oil that I'm constantly trying to get on everything. No, they don't do that. They do lard, even though they're Italian. They're overweight, they smoke. Okay, so it's not diet. So he's thinking, well, obviously genetics. Something about these folks, genetic based. Well, no. Certain Rossettians that don't live in Rosetto, out in the rest of them, have exactly basically the same problems as all the rest of America. So it's not something in the genetic makeup of these people. So maybe there's something in the water, something in the air, it's something there. Come on. No, it's not that. Because there is a little Welsh community over here, and there's a German community over there, all within the same county, the same area. Oh no, they have just as bad heart rates and all that other stuff as everybody else in the US of A. So what in the world is it? He studies and studies, and he discovers what he calls the powerfully protective social structure of the Rossettians. They live in a very close-knit community. Intergenerational. So grandpa and grandma living with the parents, with the kids, and all of that. Everybody in the town speaks Italian. That's what they speak. They're in each other's homes all the time. They're cooking for each other. They're meeting with each other all the time. They're not absent presence texting while they're being with each other. Got to you eventually. They have a strong knit church community, civil organization community. They don't flaunt their wealth, and they help anybody who's down and out. It's a very egalitarian and equalish community. Okay? Okay. Did you know that? And they, of course, do this research on women, not men. So you're on a bed-like thing, and you're attached with an instrument of pain induction. You're going to get a mild electric shock. Okay? If you hold the hand of a person you love, you can endure, I do this experiment, endure multiple times more pain. You won't even call it pain till a much higher threshold. Just holding the hand. As a matter of fact, now you're fMRIing it, and you're merely thinking of your beloved, and you can endure much more pain that they're jolting you with, comes up with this stuff, than if you're not, or if you're thinking of a stranger even. Did you know, I love you look like, really? Did you know that people who are in close relationships, actually there's a correlation between how happy they're married, that's right, how happy they're married. People who are in happier marriages, as opposed to those who are either not in marriage or not happy marriage, a wound will heal 3 days faster. 3 days faster.
So even if they're still in a happy relationship but not married, then it wouldn't apply?
No, it would apply.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not the marriage, it's the relationship. What is the most profitable internet company of all time that's worth now? What are you on? What are you on? On the nose. Facebook. Match, it used to be MySpace, right? It was MySpace, was actually some guys, I think, just up the coast And they originally sold it for like 120 million. And I think Murdoch, so one of those guys, bought it. And then they sold it for like, I don't know, 3 billion or something. As that, you well know, it's kind of faded out. Facebook is multi-billion dollar. What's the point of all this? It dawned on me about, I don't know, maybe it was 5 years ago, maybe it's longer now. The unequivocal, number one, all-encompassing drive in the human psyche is to be connected. Unequivocally. And if you really start thinking about that and start looking around, you start realizing it is the staff that holds the notes of the human species. It is in everything and everywhere. The very thing I'm doing now, what's that called? Talking. Why was that formed? Oh, to connect to another. I want to connect with you. I want to tell you something. You're thinking, going, this is interesting. Curiosity. What's really underneath curiosity? Learning, internalizing, connecting with concept. When you know something, you feel connected to it. If you look at any institution that's of any import in the human species, the fundamental underlying phenomenon or function is to connect. Take religion. Huge. Religion's huge. The whole underlying premise of religion is to connect to God. In fact, one might define God, perhaps maybe, as the personification and embodiment of our universal longing to be eternally connected. Because guess what? If you really believe in God, whoa, so cool. You never, ever in your entire life and afterlife ever have to be disconnected. Wow. How cool is that? Furthermore, anthropologists and others think that maybe perhaps one of the functions of religion, again, as you well know, I'm not religious in that sense, but I'm not here to in any way. I hope I'm wrong and all the rest of the world that mostly believes it's true is right. But one of the functions was to start giving something that non-genetically related folk could connect with. When we were way back in tribal areas, and first we're just little batches of family. Now we have other families. We have to have something that connects us. Never mind explains how the universe works. And religion functioned in that way, in part. What's even bigger than religion? What sells on the internet more than anything else? Sex! You betcha. And fundamentally, what is sex about? I mean, a lot of things, but one thing is connection. So when Siggy says, it's all about sex, I'd say, you're right, it's all about connection. It's really about connection. I'll give you a study. There's this, I love this one. There's so much here that I can't, usually I try to memorize things. This is like too many stuff. Pages and pages and pages. Come on, where is it? Most extensive study ever regarding happiness. 118,519 subjects. That's a big pool for your dissertation, ladies and gentlemen. They couldn't get a 520? 519! Come on, one more, let's do it! Participants from 96 countries. Oh, good, it's cross-cultural. They were measuring subjective well-being related to income, education, political participation, volunteer activities, and close relationships. Oh, you know where this is going. You brilliant researchers. Quote, even allowing for imprecision in people's self-reported sense of well-being. The results were unambiguous. The highest levels of happiness go along with the most stable, longest, and most contented relationships. Duh. So a hotel wanted people to save water. And their marketing group said, well, let's try various campaigns. See what works best. One campaign said, the management would like to save money, so please turn off the water. Nah. The other said something about ecology and whatnot. Join your fellow guests in saving water. By far got the best results. Peking, China. Restaurant. Fellow guests enjoyed this Peking dish. By far got more people to buy that. People in colder climates are happier. Huh? A little counterintuitive. Really? Sure. Why? Because they group together. In little pubs and other places. I love this one. By the way, 92% of men cite having affairs due to feeling disconnected to their wives. Probably 100% of women didn't do the women. But wait, where is this other one? I gotta read you this one. It's gotta be here. Where is it? Oh. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Here it is. So, this is gruesome. They took, and who would do this, but they took a survey. They looked at the last word spoken of all the men and women executed in Texas since 1976, after the Supreme Court reinstated capital punishment. And what was the word that was most uttered by people who are about to be executed, men and women? These people aren't your nicest folk. What do you think it was?
Mom.
No, mom came in actually pretty far down the list. Thanks came in 243 times. Sorry, 211 times. God, 175. All you need is
Love.
630 times. 3 times as many as the next closest thing about love. And these are people you might imagine have some attachment issues, maybe, a little attachment.
Like, they would say multiple words.
And their last word before they went was love, more than anything else. At the fundamental of our species, more than anything else, we want to be connected. Because what is love, if not connection? But let me be clear about that, actually. As you all know, there is a difference between love and connection. When you love and feel connected, that's called bliss. When you're having sex and you feel connected, that's bliss. And you love the person. Whoa, mega bliss. But make no mistake, as we all know, any of us who have loved, a lot of times you can love somebody deeply and in any given moment not feel connected. And if it's a long period of time and not feeling connected, that's called agony. Love minus connection is agony. Love plus connection is bliss. Any given moment, you feel more or less connected to your partner. You might all, we all love our parents, and you really do. But I don't know at any given time how connected you might feel to your parent. It's different. In fact, one way to look at all and every act of human action, in the most simplistic sense, it either brings you closer, the same, or farther away. Just the fact that I'm standing here sitting creates a distance. If I sat, I'm now a little closer. I did all those measures for my dissertation, actually. And I always tell that to couples. And they're about to say something. They go, wait. Looks like you're about to say something. What about you're going to say? Is that going to bring you closer, keep you right where you are, or create more distance? Well, create more distance. What's your goal here? Get closer. Hold that thought. What's amazing to me is people know it right ahead, right away. If you take a video, go stop. What are you going to say next? Blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen? She's going to get mad. Dirt. Think that one through. If you're close to be closer, zip it. You haven't learned the desirous effect of zipping it? No, you don't tell everything. I don't know if you saw, anybody saw 60 Minutes the other night? With Maggie Smith, right? Fabulous actress. She's big again because of Downton Abbey. She plays the matron. I mean, she's fabulous, fabulous. Wonderful actress. Doesn't get why she's a celebrity. The whole thing makes no sense to her whatsoever. She cares about her art and all that stuff. Her inner critic is full of, she says, she can't watch herself. She hasn't even watched Downton Abbey because she gets too critical of herself. All right. She had a life partner who died. And at one point, the interviewer said something about, so what's life without your partner? And it catches her aback. And she's like, pointless. Wow. Pointless. That's huge. It's a woman who loves her art, is magnificent at it. That's huge. But let's be clear, we don't just attach to people. We deeply and dearly attach to animals. In fact, a lot of us are closer to our animals than we are to anything else. One of my favorite little things I do with the kids in custody evaluations is I draw a little island. And I'm a terrible drawer. So we got this little, believe it or not, this is a palm tree. It's my best rendition. And we got the little hut. And of course, we've got a wave. That I draw much better, right? This is the wave on my wedding ring that I've been drawing since I was 12. Yeah, son, and little caw, caw, caw. So I asked the kid, where would you be on this island? Yeah, somewhere here. Yippee! Yay, I'm dancing. You could have one person, only one person, only one person. Who would be the one person? Ask yourself this question, interesting question. Who would be the one person in the entire universe? Entire universe. You'd have with you on that island if you could only have one person in the entire universe on that island. Rory Duran. Rory Duran. I know I'm supposed to say Rory. I think it would be Rory, but it's really hard not to say that. No, because I wouldn't want Duran to be trapped on the island. I want him to have a full life. Rory, it's you, baby. But I can't imagine not seeing my son the rest of my life. Can we fly him in? It's a good wave. So the kid will say, so it's huge. And then I'll say, well, okay, so you can have one more person, etc. I usually stop when they say, Fifi, the dog. Now sometimes they'll say, Fifi, first. Who's Fifi? The dog. Oh, where do you want the dog? Right next to me. Can you draw a dog? Yeah, sure. Here's a tail. Here's a little nose. Fifi, the dog. We are unambivalently attached to animals because our amygdala usually doesn't fire unless we're afraid of animals. So we have this incredible sense of resonance, and they look at us, and we'll get more into how that whole look.
But there's something else.
Yes, please.
In the reciprocity of this unconditional love from animals, because people who beat dogs, the dogs still love them.
Correct. Well, let's even do, there was a wonderful Discovery Channel thing on animals, on dogs, specifically on dogs. We've been 30,000 years together. They have, talk about epigenesis, they have changed to who they are to accommodate who we are, and vice versa to some degree, but more the other way. Yes, they have oxytocin. Yes, our oxytocin goes up when we pet them. Yes, theirs goes up. They really are happy to see you. They really are. That's not anthropomorphizing. They love you unconditionally. Do you know that they, first of all, the human face, as you know, is uneven.
Oh, yeah, they look at both sides.
No, they look at the right side, which is the side that's more expressive of human emotion.
Does it pop at both sides, whereas like humans only look at one left side?
My understanding from my source, which could be wrong, is that right side expresses more feeling, and dogs will look at the right side more on the human face. And they don't do that with any other species.
Yeah.
They only do that with people. And they showed the clip, and you see this dog, black Labrador, look exactly, very biasedly towards the right of his owner.
Maybe that's it. And humans look at
And maybe the humans do it perhaps less unilaterally.
Yeah, so
And so they really, really, really tune into our feelings. And when you're down, they really will come over, put their head on your lap, and you just go, "Oh, thank God for you, Rex. You're my bro, buddy." Sports. Oh my God. People get unbelievably attached to their teams. Yeah, I'm a Charger fan. Yeah. My dear sweet wife, Rory Devine, has evolved into this Charger fanatic. She's a Charger-phile. Oh, she gets so she can't watch the game. Oh, gets so depressed. She's talking to the. She starts to watch games that aren't Chargers, but they're sort of related, and it gets more and more distant every season. Oh, it's unbelievable. You cannot invite her to a Super Bowl party if she cares about the team, because everybody's talking. Shh, I'm concentrating on the game. Oh, she's unbelievable. And she's a news reporter, right? So she can't. We have a little rule in our house. If we watch a video, only 3 rewinds. Wait, what did you say? I don't know, kind of. No, I'm not. Rewind. Okay, that's 1. Because to me now, hi. It kind of takes away from the flow of the movie. Kind of takes away my immersion in this experience. I can't see, oh yeah, they're acting. Come on. Oh no. So she has to have it totally silent when she's watching a football game. Now, she has some friends who are fanatic of her, so they go in the side room. Shh, nobody else is allowed as they watch. It's like, sports. As you very well know. Was it Red Sox Nation? They're a fanatic. The Bostons, again, she's from Boston. She's not that big of a Red Sox fan. Oh my God. There are people who want to get married at Fenway Park. Honey, wasn't there a movie or something? Yeah, thank you. But that's actually a real phenomenon. Oh my God. And who was it that was trying to get his ashes buried at Yankee Stadium? Now that's connection. Fanatic. Let me read you. Is it going to be here? I just love this quote. I'm going to get it here. Hang on with me. It's a great quote. It's worth the wait. Hey, get back here. Oh, let me give you another one then before I get to this quote. So you saw the movie Tom Hanks, he's on an island. Castaway. I was going to say Outcast, but I know it wasn't that, but we'll get to that. Castaway. What's the most poignant? Oh my God! Wilson! Everybody in the audience says, oh no, turn around, go get Wilson. No, you can't leave him. Wilson's a volleyball. He's a volleyball that Tom Hanks, in case you didn't see the movie, drew some eyes and a mouth on so he could feel connected. If I gave you that doorknob, this one right here, and I hand it to you, and I say for the next 30 days, keep that with you everywhere you go, no matter what you're doing. 30 days from now, you're not going to want to give up that door handle. We are emotional barnacles. We grab and attach and will not let go unless we have significant attachment issues.
I can actually speak to that.
Haha, please do while I look for this. I'm not discounting.
When my sister was going through a difficult time, I gave her my Care Bear that I had had since I was a kid. This was 15 years ago, and I still regret it.
Oh, and you still regret it.
I still regret it and want to ask for it back.
Quote. So what is it that makes you want to write songs? Well, in a way, you want to stretch yourself into other people's hearts. You want to plant yourself there, or at least get a resonance, where other people become a bigger instrument than the one you're playing. It becomes almost an obsession to touch other people. To write a song that is remembered and taken to heart is a connection, a touching of bases, a thread that runs through all of us. Who said that? If you don't recognize it, that's the opening to Brown Sugar. Come on, help me out here. Keith Richards, my man. That's Keith Richards in his autobiography. Music. Why the heck do you think we ever created that? Because we connect. It's a universal connector. When I was living in that little town, Morón de la Frontera in Spain, in Andalusia, Spain, living flamenco, they'd all go to this bar Pepe. It won't even begin till about, it's like a rave. It doesn't even start till like midnight. If it's a good night, they get the guitars out and not just sing. And all of a sudden, you're just mesmerized in this place. And it's so transcultural and transpersonal and transhistorical. You feel that energy. Oh my God, you feel that energy. And it connects you. Getting the sense of this? Everything is about connection. So that formula, wound, we had comfort. Remember, I changed it from warmth to comfort. It's really connection. And your task as a therapist, above all else, I believe, never mind as a human being, is to connect. Connect with that little pumpkin or bigger pumpkin that you work with. And that's why empathy is so important, because that is another word for connection. Okay? Thoughts, feelings, fancies, reactions. As you hear me proselytize.
It reminds me of that picture. It was a really huge picture about the surgeon that was doing prenatal surgery. And he was like, I think he was atheist and definitely not pro-life or anything like that.
Right.
And so he slits the belly and the uterus, and the first thing that happens is he grabs his finger. And they took a picture, and it just completely changed his complete perception of everything. He became pro-life. He became like a little bit more connected with God, because it was right there and strong, you know.
And you're tearing, and I'm tearing. The only thing that will ever move you to tears, is either about connection or the other side of it, disconnection. There is the other side, disconnection. That is the only two things in life that will ever make you tear. Oh, I guess you can go, ow! There's that. By the way, as you know, sorry?
It's a connection with pain.
Yeah, it's a connection with pain in a way. Well, we'll get to the whole idea of connecting to concepts, but it's, you will any ad you've ever seen, any song that's ever moved you, anything, the fundamental thing that's underneath it is connection to something. It's unbelievable. Please.
Dan Siegel says more human connections promotes more neurological connections, which promotes more human connections, and so on.
Yeah. But I am also amazed at how deeply we connect to concepts. Never mind football teams. Never mind, I'm a surfer. In fact, let me put it differently. If I had you list the 5 things you feel most connected to, which is an interesting exercise, by the way, what would be one thing you would list that you're really connected to?
Probably my boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah, he's a happy man then. What's something you would list as something you're connected to? Your son. Very important. What are you connected to?
My mother.
Really good. What are you connected?
Husband.
Okay. Other things? Brothers. God. The beach. Yeah, the beach. Did you say something? Animals. You are the mosaics of your connection. You want to know who you are? You are the mosaic of your connections. What you are attached to, what you are connected to, that's who you are. And it isn't just people. You're attached to ideas. I assume you're attached to being a psychologist. It has some meaning for you. Helping others has some meaning for you. There's a famous story about the guy in the towers, before the towers came down. And he was standing by this guy who was in a wheelchair. He'd never met this guy, but he knew him every day. He would see him in the hallways wheeling. They had kind of the same schedule. The firemen are rushing by him and all that, and they're saying, you got to get out of here. And he says, no, not until you can get him. I will not leave him. Towers came down. They both died. Well, I realized, it's amazing how connected he was to him, but I realized it's really more he's connected to the principle of I will not abandon. And I'm going to cry. But that's what he's really connected to. He doesn't even know this person. And there is resonance, I'm sure, and whatever, but it's about, in fact, the most dangerous human being is somebody who's, quote, disaffected from the society at large and is connected to some principle, some belief. I think we call them terrorists. The example last 2 weeks ago. Dorner, right? Told you. The guy is connected. Never mind, it's not fair. They're calling those niggers, they kick that schizophrenic, they fire me, that's not fair. It's also, he's connected to the principle, and he will murder for that principle. This land was formed on the concept of, give me liberty or give me death. And he meant it. I regret I only have one life to give for my country. In fact, the problem I have with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's also true, but it doesn't really work like that. People will give up their lives. Isn't that a psychological safety need, really the primal need? They'll give it up like that in an instant, out of a connection to a principle. We're connected to the sense of meaning. Frankel's, meaning, or people's need for meaning. It's really need for connection, because that's what you're connected to. It's what gives you meaning. Okay? I invite you to explore what it is you're connected to, because that is the mosaic of who you are. And it's wonderful. And by the way, the worst feeling in the world of all is to feel not connected. People's suicide. One, they can be choiceful, horrible disease, and they make a choice. I get that. But you show me any suicide, and I'll show you somebody who feels utterly, totally, permanently, at least they believe permanently, disconnected. And they cannot tolerate that feeling. None of us can tolerate that feeling at all. It's not so much that we want to kill ourselves, it's that we don't want to be living anymore. It's not that we want to die. We don't want to be in this much kind of pain of feeling utterly and totally disconnected from anything and everything. As a matter of fact, if you're put in a sensory deprivation tube, or whatever it is, one of these like big bathtub things, right? There's no sensory input. Do you know what happens? You hallucinate. In my belief structure, why? Why do you hallucinate in my belief structure? Because you need to feel connected to something. So you're going to create something to feel connected to, even if it's a hallucination. You cannot, as a species, we cannot be that disconnected. We think it's sad. It's interesting. We think it's sad if you're in pain and there's nobody there to comfort you. I do think that's sad. But you know what I think is sadder? Is if you're in joy and there's nobody there to share it with. Imagine you get your dissertation. You finally did it. And there's nobody to text. Nobody cares. There's nobody to call. Nobody's going to pop bubbly with you. Oh, God, that is so tragic. Now, again, some people aren't that connected to people. They're more connected to the fact they got the PhD. That's pretty rare, but especially if it's in psychology. Okay, PhD in psychology, I don't care that nobody's there to celebrate with you. I think that's more sad. The worst thing you can possibly do to a human being, pardon me to be crass, is not this. Oh, not at all. This. Get uncomfortable yet? If I did that for about another 10 seconds, you're like, hello, or else you just leave. To disconnect, to say there is no connection between us anymore. Hate is a way to stay connected. It's one of the things we know about hostile divorces. It's just a way to stay connected. Real disconnection, I want to hear about just to finish the sentence, is I really don't care. One of the most famous lines of all moviedom. Used to be the most famous line, but now it's so old. Do you know what that would be? It was the classic disconnect line. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And he meant it. Clark Gable finally meant it to Vivian Leigh. That's disconnection. You wanted to say something?
This just reminds me of a quote I once heard, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference.
Correct. That's exactly right. It's disconnection. That's exactly right. We cannot tolerate disconnection. We will do a lot to keep connected, even in a negative way. We will do things. I don't know if you ever saw the show Going Native. This guy would join various cultures, various tribes. He'd be dropped off in the middle of the Amazon. What the human species does, puts things through their cheeks, puts huge ear stick out like that, in order to feel connected to a tribe, to others. It's astounding what we will do. And of course, the worst thing you could do is banishment, send them out. Horrible. Astounding what we will do to feel connected. Okay? Yes, please.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of times we exist only as long as we're present in the minds of others. You know, the worst thing you can do is not think negatively about someone, but just not think about them at all, and that hurts a lot more.
Exactly right. We're going to get into exactly that. The preview on that is there is no me. There is no me without a we. There is no me without a we. You have a kavada, just an itch. He's connected to his itch. It's important. All right. Go connect out there. Come back at 10:25. And we will do more.